We have a lot more power than we think, and I'm talking about the health and the resilience and the connectedness of our entire being. I want to share today about how your cells, cells, are fully connected and alive and listening to every single thought, consciously or unconsciously, that you send out, and what you can do today to connect more deeply to your cells and to give yourself greater vitality, greater healing, greater inspiration. Hello and welcome to the Art of Tuning In podcast. I'm Dr. Maria Furlano. I'm so glad you're here today. I want to tell you a little story to start out. Many, many years ago, I was working with a client who was really suffering from arthritis and specifically in her hands. And this was one of our very first meetings together. And as she was describing to me, she was sitting in a chair, I was sitting in a chair, and she was describing to me how her hands felt. And as she's describing the pain, she's describing the discomfort, she's been describing how long it's been going on, she picks up her hand and she hits it on the chair and at the same time says, "This damn hand, I can't get it to feel better." When she did that, it was a beautiful teaching moment. It showed the anger in her body, it showed the frustration, but more importantly, it showed how she was trying to completely disconnect herself from her own self. What do I mean by that? Her words were, "This damn hand." Not my hand, not having compassion for her hand, not wanting to connect, to disconnect. We do that all the time, especially when we're in pain. We do it when we're in emotional pain. We do it when we're in physical pain. And it makes total sense because we don't want to feel the pain anymore. But our body is completely connected. Every cell in your body is living, it's alive. It dies and it regenerates itself. You are your cells. Your whole cellular structure is you. You are every bone in your body. You are every muscle in your body. You are every organ in your body. You are your skin. You are your hair. We tend to separate our brain from the rest of us, or our spirit from the rest of us. And we are completely disconnecting many times from the fact that our tip of our big toe is all of us as much as our brain is, our heart is, our spirit, or what we see in the mirror. Like every single cell of your body is completely unique to you. So being means fully connected. And when we can do that, we heal differently. We also move through life differently because we understand that everything is an energy exchange. That when we exchange energy, we're not just exchanging energy. As I'm talking, I'm not just like words are not just coming out of my mouth, and that's where the energy is. My entire body, from my toe to the top of my head to my fingertips, every single piece of me is engaged energetically with you in this time, every part of me. And if I understand that, then I understand that I'm giving my energy freely from my whole being. I'm not a talking head, right? And where we're just disconnected from the rest of our body. This is really important in healing, and it's really important in energy cultivation. It's really important with how we expand ourselves. If you're dealing with pain, if you're dealing with emotional pain, if you're dealing with physical pain, the first thing to understand is that pain is always here to teach us something. It has a lot of information in it, and connecting with it can be our key to healing it. We do tend to disconnect from it. And again, like I said, it's totally normal because it hurts and we don't want to feel it. And we're trying to push through to the next thing to just get past it. And I'm sure you've experienced that when you do that, the pain gets worse because the pain is there for a reason. Your body is responding for a reason, and it's not going to let up because it's there. It has the greater wisdom. It's much more wise than our brain is just giving us information. Our body is an amazing epicenter of information. So, the first thing to look at is, do you disconnect yourself and do you just push through and ignore what's going on? So, literally block out the pain to get something done. When we start to integrate our energy, meaning that we understand that if we are hurting, we're hurting, and that it's time to really listen to why we're hurting. Now, I'm not saying to not go get help when you're hurting. I'm not someone that feels that people should be in pain and not have help. Want to make that really clear. But I am saying that when we have pain, there's a reason. And until we move into the healing and the connectedness of that reason, it's probably not going to get better. And so, even though you're having help with it, you want to be working with yourself as well. And one of the things that I'm going to share with you today is how to do that. So, first, let me say, if you are not already in my free weekly guided meditation gathering called Holding Space, please go join that, because this morning we did a whole guided process of what I'm going to talk you through today. If you go to theartoftuningin.com, you can sign up for Holding Space. It's totally free. We've been doing this now for over 2 years. There are so many replays of the live meditations that I've done. And so you have access to those recordings for free to use anytime you wish. And all the links are below in the description box for you to sign up for that. But this morning we did a guided meditation where we went into our body and began to communicate with the cells in our body. In medical Qigong, a very important focus is the intention of your mind, meaning, how do you focus your mind? What are you focused on? Because your thoughts direct the energy flow. Your energy is moving through your body all the time. The energy is moving through the world all the time. How we direct our thoughts, how we connect with our breath brings us into a present moment of being. And that allows us, with that focus, with that connection, to create. And so, as we're creating, we are intentionally creating very elevated energy, or we're intentionally creating non elevated energy. And what I mean by that is, what we're thinking about, we can choose to think in a more elevated way, or we can choose to think in a more unelevated way. So if we have emotions of fear and distrust and worry and anger and resentment, those are vibrations that are of a specific frequency. Not good or bad. We're just talking about frequencies. If we choose to think about health and wellness and vitality and love and inspiration and connectedness, kindness, those are all thoughts of a certain frequency. Which kinds of frequencies do you want flowing through your body? That's all you need to know. That's the most important thing. You learn to make a choice. I want these kinds of frequencies flowing through my body versus these kinds of frequencies flowing through my body. And when we have something chronic like pain, not meaning to, but we can begin to have these chronic thought patterns of this damn hand. I hate this. I can't change this. I'm always in pain. My life sucks. This is terrible, right? All of these things because we're in pain. When you don't feel well, nothing feels good. You don't feel well. That's the whole point of it. Nothing is working. Nothing feels good. Things are difficult to move through. So it's very important that we understand and we're very honest with how we're really thinking. And those are all those quiet thoughts that are going on in our mind, put in the background, that we have to pay attention to and say, oh, I am thinking this and I am talking to my body this way. I am really mad at myself. I am really mad at this part of my body. I am really frustrated. I am really scared. It's okay. to get in touch with that. It's very, very important. Those are what we call root issues that are happening beneath the surface, very easy to ignore, that we don't see everything else stemming up from, growing from. When we're changing our thought patterns and we're moving into a more connectedness with ourself, and we understand that our cells, every cell in our body, has an intelligence and has a frequency that also can shift and change as we feed it energy. So it's important to really look at your cells like something that have been planted in you, like you planted a seed. And if you water that seed, if you nurture that seed, if you give it a lot of love, that seed will grow really beautiful and strong. That's how I think of the cells of our body. They're always evolving. They die, they regrow. They are always responding to their environment. We have an internal environment that they're responding to, which means what are we putting in our body as far as nourishment, as far as hydration? How are we resting? Are they getting nourishment through rest? And then what are we thinking and feeling? They are responding to that. They're responding to the air that we breathe in. So they're responding to the emotions that we have in our environment, our interactions with other people, relationships. They're responding because we're responding. And again, we don't want to be separate from ourselves. We don't want to piece out our body, whereas, like, this damn hand is separate from the rest of me. No, my hand is me. I am my hand. I am the pain that I feel. The pain is me. When you start to include your entire body from your head all the way down to the very tip of your toes, the very tip of your fingers, every piece of you, inside and out, you understand that you're working as one unit. You are one being. So as I'm speaking to you, it's not just my voice that's coming out. I'm speaking to you with my entire energy. All of me is focused in this moment. And a wonderful thing to learn and to practice is to be one complete unit with yourself, meaning all the good, all the stuff you think isn't good, all the stuff, it's you. And as soon as we stop disconnecting ourselves, we can actually find ways to heal the parts that need to be healed. And this is even better. Your body, when you're fully connected with yourself, the information in your body will move you towards the steps you need to take to get more support. You will be so in tune with yourself that the energy will basically pave the way for you to get the support that you need to create the lasting shifts that you are so desiring. Because whatever we're really thinking in our mind, we may say, "Well, I really want to heal this part of me." But subconsciously, there's so much information in there that's going on where you're really thinking, I really want to heal it, but it hasn't healed and it's never going to heal. And this is how it is. I'm just going to have to move through my life and no one can help me and blah, blah, blah. And that's like playing in your mind, but you don't even really realize it because you're trying so hard to focus on, I want to heal, I want to do this, but your body doesn't believe you because you don't believe you. You have had this other experience and it's been ingrained in you that this is the way that it is. How do you shift that? You begin to shift that by first recognizing if you do believe that way. So if you are in a space where you really believe, you know what, I have tried and tried, and this is never going to be different. This is how I am. I'm going to deal with this my entire life. This pain, this issue, whatever it is, I'm going to deal with this forever. You want to be really honest with yourself. And if it is how you feel, and if you choose to go in and begin to dissect that, to begin to take apart those feelings and to get to another level of it, does it have to be that way? Or could I surrender to a new way of thinking and being. This is not the easiest thing. I will admit that it's not the easiest thing to do, but it is possible. It is possible to say, I'm going to surrender into a new way of thinking and feeling about all of this, but I'm going to do it totally inclusive of my whole being. I'm going to just listen to myself. I'm going to just listen to every cell of my body, and I'm going to tune in to what it needs, to what it's saying to me. So when I say what it needs, that might be too big of a step for you right now. We're just tuning into what is it saying to you. And if you can get to the point where you don't think that's weird and you can say, okay, I do listen to myself. And yeah, my body does speak to me. It does speak to me. It does guide me. I am fully connected. Every part of me, I can go into every part of my body. So let's talk about a couple practices that you could begin to do. So after you've really recognized how you feel about yourself, how you're thinking on a regular basis about yourself, how you are connected or disconnected from pieces of you, pieces of your body, emotions, all of those things, or are you integrated as one? And you take some time with that. And really, what does that mean for you? It might be something that you connect with immediately, go, oh, I really understand how I do that. Or this might be really new for you, but just take some time to just explore it. Then you also want to just with your mind, and you can do it with your eyes open, with your mind, you just start to move in through your body. It's like you're taking a flashlight and you're just going in through the inside of your body into different areas of your body. And you're saying, hey there, nice to see you. Fully connected, though. They're not pieces and separate parts of you, but you're starting to realize that at any moment you can take your awareness to wherever you want to in your body. Right now, try it. Take your awareness to your right elbow. Just be there for a moment. Be inside your arm, inside your body in the elbow, and now on the outside of the skin of the elbow. And now take your awareness to your left hip and be inside your skin, inside your body in the left hip. And then what if you just went to the surface of the skin of the left hip? How about now if you took your awareness to your right toe, big toe, and you just were with your big toe? So you're going to notice certain parts of you, it's easy to get into. Other parts of you, you feel like, well, I'm looking at it, but I'm not with it. See, so there's a difference between being able to, well, I can see, my big toe, but I'm not quite in and connected with my big toe. And that's normal. This is a really good observation to make about different parts of your body, especially if you are dealing with pain or you have dealt with pain or there's an area of your body in the past that you've injured. You may have not knowingly, but created a small disconnect from that area because it's been in pain or because it's been injured, and you have just kind of separated it from the rest of you. This is great information if you discover this, because then you want to slowly take the time to say, hi, how are you? And begin to allow yourself to connect again into the wholeness of that area. One of the things that I've done my entire healing career, whether I work with people in person or whether I work with people at a distance, is I speak to the cells of their body. If I'm touching them, my hand communicates with the cells of their body. If I'm working at a distance, the energy of my hand communicates with the cells of their body. And you can feel, if you do this, you can feel underneath your hand in the energy of the body, you can feel it shift and change. You can feel muscles relax. You can feel energy flow. And the person, of course, can feel this. Communicating with the cells of your body, the cells of another body, if you're working with people, communicating through voice, communicating through focus, understanding that we are cellular beings and every cell has an intelligence, that we are constantly in communication of that. It can change everything in your life. You see the world differently, you react and respond differently in the world. And the reason why you react and respond differently is because you recognize that whatever energy you're putting out is also going to affect your whole being. So, for example, you begin to take care of yourself better. When you're fully integrated into your whole body, you begin to understand that if I push and push and push my energy, my cells struggle. If I nourish myself, my cells thrive. If I do push my energy, I need to replenish. You begin to understand this energy exchange because you're one unit, you're not separating yourself. So many people separate their heads from the rest of their body and their minds, and they say, well, I'm just going to finish this task. I'm going to push through. I'm going to get there. And the rest of their body is just struggling to keep up with them. It's like if there was a cartoon, the head is just leading the way, and you see the feet just dangling afterwards, moving really fast, trying to keep up with the head. And meanwhile, all of the energy is just draining out of the body because nothing is connected. If you want your feet, for example, to be as connected and in tune with what you're doing and part of your decision making as your brain, you want your little fingers to be connected with every decision you make. This is about being fully, holistically integrated. This morning, when we did the meditation, I took people through, of course, relaxing and grounding and getting themselves in their body. And then I asked them to speak to a part, one part of themselves, and to begin to connect with that one part in a cellular way, meaning they understood that there are cells in every part of us and that those cells are reacting and responding to how we, from our brain, from our thoughts, and from our emotions, communicate with these cells. I ask them to please speak out loud. So you can absolutely, like I said, go and practice with this guided meditation. But let's say, for example, right now, right here, that I'm going to talk to my left shoulder. First, I'm going to breathe. I'm going to connect. I'm going to be, present with myself because remember that what you believe, what you really believe, will be the manifestation of the energy. If you just go, well, I'm doing this thing because, Maria said, do this thing, and I'm just going to connect with my shoulder and blah, blah, blah. Hi, shoulder. How you doing? You're not connected. You're not embodied. You're not integrated, right? So it has to be a true integration of mind, body, soul, emotion. Very important. So this is why we take the time to breathe and we align our energy and we get into that space with ourselves. It's also just respectful for ourselves to take the time to get into space, into harmony with our full being. So as I do that and I'm integrated and connected and I'm calm, I will often touch the area that I am wanting to connect with. And I just say, hello. Hello there. How are you? Nice to be with you. I just want to say thank you. Oh, I want to say thank you for all that you do, for all the strength that you carry, carrying all my bags, moving, being a part of the movement and the strength of my arm, being a part of how I can write every day or how I lift things, and being a part of holding my head up every single day. Inside, for protecting my lungs, oh, for just helping me stand up tall. Thank you. Thank you. Is there anything that you need at this time? And you just listen and you feel And you breathe. And generally, what will happen? First of all, you'll have relaxation in your body because what you are holding there will begin to unwind because it's heard. It's just like a person who's dealing with a problem, who connects with somebody else who really hears them, who really sees them, who understands them. What happens when that happens? The person being heard and seen and understood feels better. They feel empowered, they feel safe, they feel more relaxed. That's what we're doing with our whole body. We are embodying our energy and we are being heard, we are being seen, we are being safe. So we can give that to ourselves every single day. Every day we can give this to ourselves. And when we do, our world shifts because we understand how powerful we are to shift our state of being whenever we want to. It doesn't mean that we don't get support from others, but again, we're guided to the right support that we need, which of course makes everything in our life work better because we have been guided in the perfect alignment of what will work for us. So, a recap for today: embodiment, fully connected to every cell of your body because every cell has an intelligence and it has a wisdom, and you are that intelligence and wisdom. I invite you to come join us live in Holding Space or watch the replays. Experiment, play with all of these beautiful techniques. I would love for you to share your insights, to ask your questions in the comments. And if this content resonates with you, please like and subscribe to this channel, to this podcast. I can't wait to share more tools with you, and I will see you in the next episode.